They're so obsessed, people, with hiding, the aging process, because there's some sort of idea that you have to be like immortal, or that there's some shame with growing old. Whereas, the Torah perspective is that age is like the most beautiful thing in the world. It's like it's so wonderful. But what's the tremendous irony that I want to point out? The same person, Moshe, that we're talking about, who, again, I see already from now, is intensely aware of his death in a way that I've never seen before. Hashem said, take vengeance from the Midianites, and then it's going to be time. And now, as he's standing in front of us, beginning this Shabbat, for 5 weeks, giving over the entire book of Deuteronomy, this person who was not a man of words, these are his last words, right? And then when we get to the end of Deuteronomy in Parashat V'zot Bracha, in chapter 34, what do we read? Open up your heart deeper than ever in your whole life. We read that Moses was 120 years old when he died. His eye had not dimmed and his vigor had not diminished.
Right.
So in other words, here you've got all of these people that are vacuous and that are absolutely disconnected from reality, who are like running against the clock and trying to hide the beautiful process of aging, because for them it brings shame, and maybe because they have nothing to show for growing old, which is pretty sad. And Moshe, who was like in a way older than old, a very old soul, right? He didn't have to spend any money on plastic surgery or anything like that, because he was totally fresh. It's like he did not die from natural causes. He did not die from old age. He died because the moment came and Hashem said, your task in this world is now finished. So you're going to lie down and I'm going to kiss you and take your soul back to me, but it had nothing to do with the body. So because I'm thinking about all of this week, Moshe being so aware of his impending death and how he reacted, and the power that just propelled him to be able to have such clarity in his mind and such a consciousness, and conduct, execute the vengeance against Midian, and then be able to give over all of this Torah, all of these Torah portions to his people. And so something caught my eye this week in my news feed. That is something that you might be aware of it, but there's something that I was not aware of, which is that there is a new burial service in deep space. But there's a whole thing now with, it's been going on, I guess, I didn't know, for 30 years. But it is a space burial service. Gene Roddenberry and his wife are going to be, their ashes are going to be sent into deep space sometime in 2024. They're also going to be the DNA, portions of the DNA of all sorts of notable people. And they're also going to be DNA samples from living people. It's this whole concept, because there's a couple, for example, in this article, I'm reading about a couple from Arizona. They're alive and well. They're sending their DNA also. And they're calling it the ultimate road trip. And they said they like the idea of being the furthest human genome from the planet. And then they went on to say, we all want to be immortal in some way. And this was an opportunity for us to be able to do something that no one else has done, to go where no one else has gone before, the couple said. And that struck me as being very profound, that sentiment that a person wants to be immortal. I guess it's a natural feeling that a person does not want to feel that they are leaving nothing behind. That person wants to feel that they have made an imprint, that there will be remembered, that their presence made a difference, right?
Yeah.
And so they have this idea of being forever floating out in space, but that expression is so full of pathos and emotion, the way that it struck me, that of a person saying from the depths of their heart, we all want to be immortal, because again, Moshe really is. Moshe, who did nothing, who made no effort to be immortal, who made no effort to prolong his life, who was zealous to keep to Hashem's timetable, even though he knew that it would mean the end of his life, showed no signs of aging. And truly, as the Talmud says, the righteous are considered to be alive in this world. We are. And the thing about what I would like to say to this person, if I had the opportunity to speak to them personally, the person who's because it's such a moving. I feel the emotion of the person saying we all want to be immortal, but the secret is we are. That's the irony. You don't need to be sent into deep space to be immortal. The human soul is immortal.